Guitar elegance is a technique that I came across quite a few years into my guitar playing. It's something that I used to not think about, but now I think about all the time, and it actually makes the learning process a lot easier and a lot quicker. And it's basically the concept of making your playing look good. So generally, I've got this concept in my mind that if the playing looks good and smooth, then it is a lot easier to play. And it's basically planning. And I know that people like Steve Vai think like this as well. So basically, when you're learning something, let's say you're learning off a tab and you're learning like a new arpeggio that you want to be able to do, as opposed to concentrating just on the numbers on the tab, focus more, plan it out before you actually play it, plan it in your head, picture yourself playing it in your head before you actually play it, work out what fingers you want to use and what techniques you want to use within it. So let's say it's like a suspended second arpeggio. So first, second and fifth note of a major or minor scale. And I will do it in A. So basically, let's say you was reading a tab and on the low E string it said to play the 5th fret, followed by the 7th fret on the low E string, and then followed by the 7th fret on the A string. So you had this. And generally what a lot of learning guitar players will do is they'll concentrate more on the numbers that they're playing as opposed to the actual fingers that they're using and the techniques involved. So they might go like this, I can play it. And then you ask them to play it again and they'll go. Which is fine, but both times I played that, I played it differently. I played it with different fingers when I did it. Now what happens if I asked you to carry that out throughout like 2 or 3 octaves? You'll find that your fingers will end up having to change the way you play it because you're now expanding it throughout the neck. So let's say I wanted to take that through 3 octaves, and I'll do it using the method of moving up a string, skipping a string, moving up, and then up 2 frets, and then on the next octave, skipping a string, moving up 3 frets when it gets to the B string. So I end up with this, and I'm not going to think ergonomically with this. I'm not going to think about making it look good. Okay, luckily that worked out quite matching. So generally what you want to be doing is before you're actually playing that, read what is happening on, let's say, the tab. Read what's happening, picture yourself playing it across 1 octave, and then picture yourself playing it the exact same way throughout the next 2 octaves. Okay, and let's try like an ergonomic pattern, and I will put a slide in it as well. Okay, so in my head I'm reading this tab that's going 5, 7, 7, and then carrying it out through octaves, and I'm thinking, what's the most ergonomic way that I can pass through those octaves and make it liquid-like almost and smooth with slides. So I'm trying to picture the best way of moving about with my fingers, and literally the way I'm picturing it in my head, I'm only having to use 2 fingers to do it, literally, but I already know before I'm even playing it, and I've not pre-planned what arpeggio I'm going to do. I've just thought of it whilst doing this video, whilst speaking to you now. So these are the 2 fingers that I'm going to use, and in my head, I'm going to start with the 2nd finger, and I'm going to slide it. So I'm going to slide from that 5 to that 7. The next string, I'm going to hit the 7 on the next string with my 1st finger. But when I land with that 1st finger, when I start on the next octave of the next string on the 7, I'll land with my middle finger, and then slide that, land on my 1st finger, and then on the next string, because it needs to go up an extra fret, that lines up for my 2nd finger landing there still, sliding up, and then on my 1st finger, and then reversing it in exactly the same way. And I always say, whatever way you play something up, try your hardest to play it the same way down as well. It just gives you a lot less to think about. So in my head, I've planned this. We'll see if it works out now, but it should look fairly elegant. And then backwards, it wouldn't be that. And then backwards, it would be this, sorry. So we have this. And I'd say that's a fairly like ergonomic way of playing it with slides. The guitar's out of tune, by the way. I don't know if you can see, but I have snapped a string just literally a moment ago above the nut here. The string's still actually on because it's Floyd Rose, and it's close to being in tune. So yeah, we've got a fairly ergonomic way, and then I could go, right, I want a different way to play it. So I could go, I want to do it with hammers, in which case let's go for this. And I just want to repeat that sequence throughout all the octaves. Just do it the same each way, pre-plan what you're going to do, and then keep practicing it that way as well, and you'll end up with some really nice looking playing, but it will also end up a lot easier to play things and a lot easier to memorize things. So whether it be a song, try and pre-plan in your head how you want to play that melody or that line, and you'll end up with some really nice looking and sounding guitar playing as well. Let me know your thoughts on this process. One of the reasons I brought this up is because I'm so used to initially showing some of my students, say I put a sheet in front of them and they don't think so much about how they're going to play it, and they end up with like doing unergonomic stretches like this. But like, why do a stretch like that to play something when this finger naturally lands there? Like, just try and keep your hand so that it's not doing these awkward stretches. Why would you need to do a stretch like that with these fingers when this finger naturally lands there? Let me know your thought process on this and how it works for you. Some people have bigger hands, so some people feel a lot more comfortable with those stretches. Me personally, I've got just, I think, average sized hands, and just from a lot of the players that I like and watch and admire, just taking a look at the way that I used to play things, and do now, I'd say my playing is a lot more elegant now compared to what it used to be, but it's took a lot of work for me to get there, and it's took a lot of the sloppiness out of my playing, really working on this and thinking this way with learning things. So let me know in the comments below your thought on this. We'll call it a concept more than a technique. If you feel this video has helped you, that would be amazing if you could like the video, and if you could subscribe to my channel, that helps me massively as well, so that I can carry on sharing all the advice and knowledge that I've learned over the years. It is a passion of mine, and I don't do it for any other reason other than the fact that I love passing on everything that I've learned. And if I can make one guitarist's life a lot easier, then that's worth it to me. In the meantime, I'll catch you in another lesson, hopefully, and keep on rocking.